Tyler Wiley stood in his kitchen at 11:30 on a Saturday night, holding his wife's phone with trembling hands. The screen had gone dark, but the notification was burned into his mind. Your husband seems happy. Shame if he knew his promotion was because of what you did for my boss. See you Tuesday. Sophia sat at the kitchen table, motionless, staring at nothing. She'd lost 12 pounds in the past month. Her eyes were hollow, ringed with dark circles that makeup couldn't hide anymore. She hadn't eaten dinner in 4 days, hadn't laughed in weeks. And now Tyler understood why. Sophia, he said carefully, setting the phone down. What did you do? She didn't look at him. Her voice came out flat, emotionless. Don't go to work Tuesday. That's not an answer. What did you do for someone's boss? What does this have to do with my promotion? Finally, her eyes met his. They were dead. Completely dead. Please, Tyler. Just don't go Tuesday. Call in sick. Say there's a family emergency. Anything. Tyler's mind raced. 3 months ago, he'd been promoted to Senior Analytics Director at Helix Financial Group, a mid-sized investment firm downtown. The promotion had come out of nowhere. He'd only been with the company 18 months, and there were people with more seniority who'd been passed over. His boss, Calvin Conrad, had personally recommended him, said Tyler had exceptional potential, and that the executive board had been impressed with his work. That same week, Sophia had changed. She'd come home from her job at the art gallery one evening, taken a shower that lasted almost an hour, and emerged looking like something inside her had broken. He'd asked what was wrong. She'd said she was fine, but she wasn't fine. She'd stopped sleeping, stopped eating, stopped being present. Tyler had assumed it was depression, maybe burnout. He'd suggested therapy. She'd refused. He'd tried to be supportive, giving her space, taking on more responsibilities with their home. But nothing helped. She just kept fading, like a photograph left too long in the sun. Now he knew it wasn't random. It was connected to his promotion, to someone's boss, to something she'd done. I need to know what happened, Tyler said quietly. All of it. Sophia's hands were shaking. She pulled them into her lap, hiding them from view. If you go Tuesday, they'll tell you everything. They'll destroy you with it. Destroy us. I can't, her voice cracked. I can't watch that happen. Who's they? She didn't answer. Tyler sat down across from her, forcing himself to stay calm. Sophia, I got a promotion I didn't deserve. That message says it's because of something you did. Someone's blackmailing you. If you don't tell me what's going on, I can't help you. You can't help me. The words were bitter. No one can help me. It's done. It happened. And now I have to live with it. She stood abruptly, the chair scraping against the floor. I'm going to bed. Don't follow me. She walked upstairs, and Tyler heard the guest bedroom door close. She'd been sleeping there for 2 weeks. He picked up her phone again, but the deleted messages were gone. Permanently erased, probably through some app that auto-deleted conversations. The notification had come from a blocked number. Tyler sat in the dark kitchen for a long time, thinking. He was an analytics director because he was good at finding patterns, connecting data points, seeing the bigger picture when others couldn't. He'd built his career on being methodical, thorough, and relentless when solving problems. This was a problem, and he was going to solve it. Sunday morning, Tyler called Daniel Lozano. They'd gone to graduate school together, and Daniel now worked in digital forensics for a private investigation firm that handled corporate espionage cases. If anyone could recover deleted messages or trace a block number, it was him. I need a favor, Tyler said when Daniel answered. And I need you to keep it completely confidential. They met at a coffee shop in a neighborhood neither of them frequented. Tyler explained the situation without revealing too many details, just that his wife was being blackmailed and he needed to trace communications. Daniel was a small, intense man with wire-rimmed glasses and the focused energy of someone who spent 14 hours a day staring at computer screens. He listened without interrupting, then nodded slowly. If she's using an encrypted messaging app with auto-delete, the messages are probably gone for good, Daniel said. But the notification you saw came from somewhere. Even blocked numbers leave digital footprints. And if there's any metadata on her phone, timestamps, location data, app activity, I can work with that. How long would it take? Give me the phone for 6 hours. I'll clone the drive, run recovery software, and see what I can pull. Tyler handed over Sophia's phone. She was still asleep, or pretending to be. There's something else. I need background information on someone. Calvin Conrad. He's the VP of operations at Helix Financial. I want to know everything. Financial records, Criminal history, associates, anything unusual. Daniel raised an eyebrow. You think your boss is involved? The message mentioned my boss. If someone's blackmailing my wife about my promotion, Conrad's the connection. He pushed for it. I'll see what I can find. While Daniel worked, Tyler drove to Sophia's workplace, the Rothman Gallery, an upscale contemporary art space in the downtown arts district. It was closed on Sundays, but Tyler knew the owner, Olivia Duffy, a sharp-eyed woman in her 60s who'd given Sophia her first job in the art world 8 years ago. He found Olivia doing inventory in the back office. She looked surprised to see him. Tyler, everything okay? Not really, he admitted. I need to ask you about Sophia. Has anything unusual happened at work in the last few months? Anyone new coming around? Any problems? Olivia's expression shifted, becoming guarded. Why do you ask? Because my wife is falling apart and won't tell me why. I think something happened here. Olivia was quiet for a long moment. Then she closed the inventory book and gestured for Tyler to sit. About 3 months ago, we had a private showing for a high-end client. Marcus Wilkins. He's a real estate developer. Owns half the commercial properties downtown. Big collector, deep pockets. Tyler knew the name. Wilkins was one of Helix Financial's biggest clients. Calvin Conrad managed his investment portfolio personally. Wilkins brought some associates. Olivia continued. One of them took an interest in Sophia. Joshua Maxwell. Younger guy, maybe 35, worked for Wilkins as some kind of executive assistant. He was inappropriate. Asked her to have drinks after the showing. Got too close when she was explaining pieces. She turned him down politely. Tyler's jaw tightened. And then, the next week, Maxwell came back alone. Said he wanted to commission a custom piece for Wilkins. Insisted Sophia handle it personally. She tried to pass it to me, but he was specific. It had to be her. Said Wilkins had been impressed by her knowledge. Olivia's expression darkened. I should have seen through it. Should have said no. But Wilkins is a major client, and Maxwell was offering serious money. What happened? Sophia met with Maxwell 3 times to discuss the commission. After the 3rd meeting, she came back different. Wouldn't talk about it. Wouldn't make eye contact. The commission fell through. Maxwell said Wilkins had changed his mind. But Sophia, Olivia shook her head. She was never the same after that. Tyler felt ice spreading through his chest. Do you know where these meetings happened? The first 2 were here at the gallery. The 3rd one was supposed to be at Wilkins' office downtown. The Wilkins Tower. The same building where Helix Financial had its offices. 12 floors below Tyler's own workplace. Tyler thanked Olivia and left. His mind was assembling the pieces. Marcus Wilkins, wealthy client. Joshua Maxwell, his assistant. Calvin Conrad, Tyler's boss who managed Wilkins' portfolio. And Sophia, caught in the middle of something that had destroyed her from the inside out. By the time he got home, Daniel had texted. Got something. Call me. Tyler called from his car. The deleted messages are gone, Daniel said. But I recovered some metadata. Your wife's been receiving texts from a blocked number for 3 months. Always on Thursdays. Always between 7 and 8 p.m. The texts triggered location services. She was at the Wilkins Tower every time. Anything else? Yeah. I looked into Calvin Conrad like you asked. Guy's got a sealed juvenile record, but that's not unusual. What is unusual is his financials. He's living way above his salary. Just bought a house in Bridgemont for $2.3 million. That's odd for a VP pulling $300K a year. Maybe he's good with investments. Maybe. Or maybe he's taking payments from somewhere else. I'm digging deeper, but I need more time. There's one more thing, though. Conrad and Wilkins go way back. They were roommates in college. Fraternity brothers. Tyler's hands tightened on the steering wheel. Send me everything you've found. I need it before Tuesday. You're really going in? Yeah, Tyler said. I'm going in. Because whatever they did to my wife, they're about to find out it was the worst mistake they ever made. Monday evening, Tyler sat in his home office reviewing the files Daniel had compiled. The picture was becoming clearer, and it made his blood boil. Calvin Conrad and Marcus Wilkins had been friends for 20 years. Wilkins had helped Conrad get his job at Helix Financial, and Conrad had been managing Wilkins' portfolio ever since. A portfolio worth north of $50 million. The 2 men had a symbiotic relationship. Wilkins got preferential investment advice. Conrad got kickbacks and favors. One of those favors, apparently, was Tyler's promotion. But why would Wilkins care about Tyler getting promoted? That piece didn't fit yet. Tyler heard footsteps, and looked up to find Sophia standing in the doorway. She looked like a ghost. "You're still going Tuesday, aren't you?" she said. "Yes." "Tyler, please. You don't understand what they're capable of." "Then tell me." He stood, facing her. "Tell me what they did to you." Her composure cracked. Tears started streaming down her face. "I can't. If I tell you, you'll hate me. You'll leave. And I can't. I can't lose you too." Tyler crossed the room and took her hands. They were freezing. "Sophia, I love you. Nothing is going to change that. But I need to know what happened so I can fix it." She was shaking violently now. "You can't fix it. It's already done. Tell me anyway." For a long moment, she just cried. Then, finally, the words came out in broken fragments. "Maxwell said Wilkins wanted to discuss the commission personally. Said it was a $12 million project, and Wilkins always met the artist himself. I went to his office. But Wilkins wasn't there. Just Maxwell and Conrad." Her voice dropped to a whisper. "They had photos. Of you. At work, at the gym, in our house. They said Conrad was about to recommend you for a promotion. Said it was a done deal. But if I didn't do what they wanted, they'd make sure you were fired instead. Blacklisted from every financial firm in the city. They'd destroy your career." Tyler's vision was turning red, but he forced himself to stay calm. What did they want? Sophia pulled her hands away, wrapping her arms around herself. "Maxwell said Wilkins had specific tastes. That I fit the profile. That if I cooperated, they'd make sure you got the promotion and a big salary bump. Enough to pay off our mortgage, start a family. But if I refused..." She swallowed hard. "They showed me more photos. Ones they doctored to make it look like you were stealing from the company. They said they'd planned evidence, get you arrested." Tyler felt like he was going to be sick. I went to a hotel room. The Grandview, room 847. Maxwell was there. He had cameras set up. He said they were just for Wilkins to watch, that no one else would see them. And she couldn't finish. Didn't need to. Tyler understood. They'd coerced her into a sexual encounter, filmed it, and used it to blackmail her into silence. The promotion had been the carrot. The threat against Tyler's career and the video evidence was the stick. That was 3 months ago. Sophia continued, her voice hollow. "I thought it was over. But then the messages started. Every Thursday, Maxwell texts me. Reminds me what he has. Says if I tell anyone, if I go to the police, they'll send the video to everyone we know. To your employer. To our families. And he says..." She closed her eyes. "He says I have to come back. This Tuesday. That Wilkins wants to see me in person this time." Tyler's mind went very, very cold. The rage was still there, burning like a furnace, but it was controlled now. Focused. "You're not going. If I don't, they'll destroy everything." "They're going to try to destroy everything anyway," Tyler said. "That's how blackmail works. They'll keep demanding more, taking more, until there's nothing left." "But they made a mistake, Sophia. They thought they were dealing with people who'd stay scared. People who wouldn't fight back." He pulled out his phone and showed her the files Daniel had compiled. "I've spent the last 2 days investigating. I know about Conrad and Wilkins' relationship. I know about the illegal kickbacks. And I'm going to walk into that office Tuesday and end this." "Tyler, no. You don't know what they're. I know exactly what they're capable of. Which is why I'm not going in unprepared." He pulled up another document. Daniel Lozano is a digital forensics expert. He's already tracking the hotel room reservation. Maxwell used a corporate card registered to a shell company Wilkins owns. That's evidence. We also have the threatening messages, which Daniel's time-stamped and preserved. And tomorrow, I'm going to get them to incriminate themselves on record." Sophia was staring at him. "How?" "By giving them exactly what they expect. A scared husband who just found out the truth and wants to make a deal." Tyler smiled, but it was a cold, calculating expression. "They think they're predators. They're about to find out their prey." Tuesday morning, Tyler dressed for work as usual. But under his shirt, he wore a wire, a high-end recording device Daniel had provided, the kind used in corporate espionage cases. His phone was set to live-stream audio to a secure server. And in his briefcase, he carried printouts of every piece of evidence Daniel had compiled. Sophia had wanted to come with him, but Tyler refused. "Stay home. Keep your phone on. If anything goes wrong, you call Detective Buddy Allison at the precinct. I already briefed him yesterday. He's standing by." Tyler had indeed met with Allison, a veteran detective who specialized in white-collar crime. The police couldn't move without hard evidence, But Allison had been very interested in what Tyler had uncovered so far. Get them on record admitting to the coercion and blackmail, Allison had said. That's what we need to make arrests stick. Tyler arrived at Helix Financial at 8:45. The building was buzzing with the usual Tuesday morning energy, traders shouting, analysts reviewing overnight reports, assistants rushing coffee to executives. He took the elevator to the 9th floor, where Calvin Conrad's corner office overlooked the financial district. Conrad's assistant, a nervous young woman named Emily Hooper, looked up as Tyler approached. "Mr. Wiley, Mr. Conrad wasn't expecting you." "I know, but I need to see him immediately. It's urgent." Emily hesitated, then picked up her phone. After a brief conversation, she nodded. "He'll see you now." Tyler walked into Conrad's office. His boss sat behind an enormous mahogany desk, wearing an expensive suit and a practiced smile. Calvin Conrad was 52, silver-haired, with the kind of polished charm that concealed a ruthless mind. "Tyler, what brings you in so early?" Conrad's smile didn't reach his eyes. "I got an interesting message this weekend," Tyler said, sitting down uninvited. "About my promotion. About what my wife had to do to make it happen." Conrad's expression didn't change, but something flickered in his eyes. "I'm not sure I follow." "I think you do." Tyler pulled out his phone and showed Conrad the screenshot of the message. "Someone's been blackmailing my wife. Said my promotion was contingent on her cooperation. They want her to meet them today." Conrad studied the message, then leaned back in his chair. "That's disturbing. Do you know who sent it?" "Joshua Maxwell, Marcus Wilkins' assistant." Tyler watched Conrad's reaction carefully. "You know both of them pretty well, don't you?" "Marcus is a client. Maxwell works for him. But I don't know anything about this." Conrad's tone was smooth, practiced. "If someone's harassing your wife, you should go to the police." "I plan to. But first, I wanted to give you a chance to explain your involvement." "My involvement?" Conrad's smile turned cold. "I think you're confused, Tyler. I recommended you for a promotion because you're talented. Whatever's happening with your wife has nothing to do with me." Tyler reached into his briefcase and pulled out the financial records Daniel had compiled. "Then explain why you bought a $2.3 million house on a $300,000 salary. Explain the offshore accounts. Explain the shell companies that pay you consulting fees from Wilkins' real estate empire." Conrad's expression finally changed. The practiced charm vanished, replaced by something much darker. "You've been digging into my finances? That's a serious violation of company policy. Not as serious as coercing someone into a sexual encounter and filming it for blackmail purposes." The temperature in the room dropped 20 degrees. Conrad stood slowly. "I don't know what you think you know." "I know everything." Tyler interrupted. "I know you and Wilkins set up my wife. I know Maxwell forced her into a hotel room and recorded it. I know you threatened my career to keep her quiet. And I know you're planning to do it again today." He pulled out another document. "I also know that Marcus Wilkins has been running an illegal investment scheme through Helix Financial for 5 years, using insider information you've been feeding him. That's securities fraud. That's prison time." Conrad's hand moved toward his desk phone, but Tyler was faster. "Don't. Everything you've said is being recorded and live-streamed to a secure server. The police already have copies of my evidence. If you make a call, if you warn Wilkins, you'll just be adding obstruction of justice to the charges." For the first time, Conrad looked genuinely rattled. "You're bluffing." "Am I?" Tyler stood, pulling his phone from his pocket and turning the screen toward Conrad. The live stream was active, displaying a live feed to Daniel's secure server and to Detective Allison's office. "Say hello to the police." Conrad's face went white. "Here's what's going to happen," Tyler said calmly. "You're going to call Marcus Wilkins right now. You're going to tell him I know everything and that the meeting with my wife today is off. Then you're going to provide testimony against him in exchange for a reduced sentence. Or," Tyler leaned forward, his voice dropping to a whisper, "you can refuse, and I'll make sure every single detail of what you did goes public. Your family, your colleagues, your clients, everyone will know that you and your friend coerce and rape women for entertainment." Conrad's hand trembled as he reached for the phone. "You can't prove." The hotel room. Room 847 at the Grandview. Registered to Wilkins Shell Company. Security footage shows Maxwell and my wife entering. Forensic analysis of my wife's phone shows the text messages. And I have testimony from Olivia Duffy about how Maxwell targeted my wife. Tyler's voice was ice. "Oh, And the wife you're so desperate to protect? She'll get the video files too if you don't cooperate. How do you think she'll react when she finds out what kind of man she married? That broke him. Conrad sank into his chair, his face ashen. Make the call, Tyler ordered. With shaking hands, Conrad dialed Marcus Wilkins' number. When Wilkins answered, Conrad's voice was barely steady. Marcus, we have a problem. Tyler Wiley knows about Sophia. He knows about everything. He's with the police. Tyler could hear shouting from the other end of the line. Wilkins' voice was furious, demanding explanations. I don't know how he found out, but he has evidence. Financial records, the hotel reservation, messages. Conrad looked at Tyler with hatred. He wants you to call off the meeting today. More shouting. Then Wilkins said something that made Conrad's face go even paler. Conrad ended the call and looked at Tyler. He wants to meet you. Says if you're smart, you'll come alone and talk this out. He's at his office now. Perfect, Tyler said. Tell him I'll be there in 20 minutes. The Wilkins Tower was one of the most expensive buildings in the city, all glass and steel and intimidation. Marcus Wilkins' office was on the top floor, a sprawling suite with panoramic views and the kind of furniture that cost more than most people's cars. Tyler was escorted in by two security guards who looked like they'd been hired more for intimidation than actual security. Marcus Wilkins sat behind his desk, a massive piece of dark wood that screamed power. He was 60, tanned, with the kind of confidence that came from never being told no. Joshua Maxwell stood beside him. He was younger, sleeker, with cold eyes and a smile that made Tyler's skin crawl. Mr. Wiley, Wilkins said, gesturing to a chair. I understand you've been making some serious accusations. Tyler remained standing. Not accusations. Facts. Interesting. Wilkins steepled his fingers. And what facts would those be? That you and Maxwell coerced my wife into a sexual encounter 3 months ago. That you filmed it. That you've been using the footage to blackmail her. And that you planned to force her into another encounter today. Maxwell laughed. That's a hell of a story. You have any proof? Tyler pulled out his phone and played a recording. Calvin Conrad's phone call from earlier, where he'd confirmed the problem with Sophia and admitted there were financial records and hotel reservations. The laughter stopped. Conrad's already cooperating with the police, Tyler continued. He's providing testimony about your illegal investment schemes, the kickbacks, and the blackmail operation. The FBI's Financial Crimes Division is very interested in your offshore accounts. Wilkins' expression darkened. You're making a mistake. Do you have any idea who I am? The connections I have? I own half the judges in this city. I can destroy you with a phone call. Go ahead. Make the call. Tyler's voice was steady, fearless. But while you're doing that, the police will be executing search warrants on your properties. They'll find the video equipment in your hotel room. They'll seize your computers and find every other video you've made. Because my wife wasn't your first victim, was she? Maxwell stepped forward threateningly, but Tyler didn't flinch. Touch me, and it's assault on camera. I'm live streaming this entire conversation. Wilkins held up a hand, stopping Maxwell. His eyes narrowed. What do you want? Money? Is that what this is about? No. I want you to pay for what you did. Both of you. You self-righteous prick, Maxwell spat. Your wife came willingly. She wanted. She came because you threatened my career and showed her fabricated evidence of crimes I didn't commit. That's coercion. That's rape. Tyler's voice was cold as death. And the video you made? That's a legal recording. Distribution of revenge pornography. The DA's already filed charges. Wilkins stood abruptly. You have no idea what you've started. I will ruin you. I will. The office doors burst open. Detective Buddy Allison entered with 4 uniformed officers and 2 FBI agents. Marcus Wilkins, Joshua Maxwell. Allison said, pulling out handcuffs. You're under arrest for conspiracy to commit sexual assault, extortion, blackmail, and violations of federal wire fraud statutes. You have the right to remain silent. Tyler watched as they cuffed both men. Maxwell was shouting, threatening lawsuits. Wilkins was already on his phone, or trying to be, before an officer took it away. Allison walked over to Tyler. You got everything we needed. Conrad's testimony, the recordings, everything. They're done. What about the video they made of my wife? We'll seize all their devices. Any copies of that video will be destroyed as evidence contamination. Your wife won't have to worry about it surfacing. Tyler felt something release in his chest, the tension he'd been carrying for days. Thank you. As they escorted Wilkins and Maxwell out, Wilkins turned back to Tyler one last time. "This isn't over." "Yes," Tyler said quietly. "It is." 3 months later, Tyler sat in a courtroom gallery watching the sentencing. Marcus Wilkins, 15 years for sexual assault, extortion, and financial crimes. Joshua Maxwell, 12 years for sexual assault and conspiracy. Calvin Conrad, who testified against them in exchange for a plea deal, 5 years for fraud and conspiracy. All 3 men would be registered sex offenders for life. Tyler's investigation had uncovered 8 other victims. Women Wilkins and Maxwell had targeted over the years using the same playbook. The FBI had found an entire server of videos in Wilkins' home office. Every single one had been destroyed under court order, and every victim had been notified and offered support services. Sophia sat beside Tyler in the courtroom, her hand in his. She'd started therapy the day after the arrests. It would be a long road to healing, but for the first time in months, there was life in her eyes again. As they left the courthouse, a reporter tried to ask questions, but Tyler waved her off. This wasn't about publicity. It was about justice. That evening, Tyler and Sophia sat on their back porch, watching the sunset. She'd gained back some of the weight she'd lost. Her smile was tentative but real. "I still can't believe you did all that," she said softly. "The investigation, the wire, walking into Wilkins' office knowing what he was capable of. I couldn't let them get away with it," Tyler replied. "They hurt you. They thought they could keep hurting you. Someone had to stop them. You could have been killed." Wilkins had connections, resources. He had arrogance and the belief that money could buy anything. But it can't buy justice. It can't buy the truth coming out. Tyler squeezed her hand. "And it definitely can't buy what we have." Sophia leaned her head on his shoulder. "Thank you for not giving up on me. For fighting when I couldn't." "Always," Tyler said. "That's what love is." They sat in comfortable silence as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and gold. Somewhere in the city, 3 men were beginning long prison sentences. Their empire of corruption and abuse had fallen. Their victims finally had justice. And Tyler Wiley, the analytics director who'd never thrown a punch or fired a gun, had brought them all down with nothing but intelligence, determination, and an unshakable belief that the truth would win. Because sometimes the smartest weapon is the one people never see coming.